Hello and welcome again to Santo Domingo, to the Dominican Republic. We are ready to start our competition in beach sambo, man under 74 kilograms from Mexico, Gilberto Cardoso, and his opponent, Eastman Abdullah from Guyana. And the fight starts very quickly. Nice attack for Eastman. Let's not forget that in beach sambo you don't need to score many points. The first technique that works is the one that is scored, and you can win. So it's a very quick competition. You have to be very, very careful about your technique. Otherwise, it's very easy to lose your competition. Well, our next fight from Nicaragua, Elvin Reyes, and his opponent from the Dominican Republic, Luis Medrano, in blue, Medrano in red. Fighter from Nicaragua, Reyes. Very quickly, we start this fight. Both of them looking for their favorite grip, controlling the sleeves. Both of them. Well, Reyes trying to overpower his opponent a little bit. Doesn't work within once. Nice attack for his opponent, and nothing happens. They will restart the fight, and I think Reyes looking for the sleeve grips. Nice positioning, nice attempt for Medrano. But you can clearly see it's quite a different type of a fight. Both fighters looking for their positions, and both of them being very careful with the attacks on the outside. And this is it. Nice technique for Medrano. He succeeded to sweep his opponent very quickly. It's a very quick type of fight, and also it looks more like a traditional type of competition, and this is exactly what everybody wanted for the beach sambo, something very spectacular and something to remind the rich history of this sport. From Chile, in blue uniform, Avendano, and his opponent from Honduras, Ricardo Paz. So let's see. We're waiting for the fighters to begin their fight. It's very hot here, even though it's early in the morning. It's very hot, and it's very difficult to compete. Of course, the sand plays its role. Of course, it's a natural mat, but also it can obstruct your breathing. So we have the winner, Rene Avendano from Chile. Moves forward. His opponent didn't show up for the competition. And we prepare for our next fight. Marroquin from Guatemala, and his opponent from Brazil, Lisboa, the Brazilian in blue uniform, Marroquin in red. man minus 90 kilograms. So it's already a higher weight class. Whoa, this one was very quick. This one was very quick. The Brazilian showed very well his abilities, a good grip and a nice sweep, and that's all she wrote. The Brazilian moves forward. This is the first part of our competition. This is going to be a long day, but the fights are very quick. Women, men under 62 kilograms. Jack Guzman from Peru, and his opponent Ricardo Carranza. Start very quickly, and again very quick victory for Guzman.
Rivero, Jorge, Chile, categoría 62 kilogramos. Arroyo, Alejandro, México.
Our next fight, again from Chile, Jorge Rivero, and his opponent from Mexico, Alejandro Arroyo, in blue, the Mexican. His opponent in red, and we already have the victory for Arroyo, who moves forward.
Macfadyen, Canadá. Rojas, Alonso, Costa Rica.
Our next fight, Liam Macfadyen. He fought yesterday and the day before, and now he will take on Alonso Rojas from Costa Rica. The Canadian in red uniform, his opponent in blue. It's not quite the whole uniform, only the belt and the shorts, but you get the idea. It's a little bit longer than the previous fights. Canadian trying to secure his position. He attacks the sleeves. Opponent attacks on the inside. And really start very quickly. Nice penetration step for the Canadian. And again, he's looking for the outside sweep. It works for him, and he wins. And of course, he qualifies. A lot of medals for this young Canadian, and for sure today he is going to be also an interesting fighter. From Uruguay, Maximiliano Davila in red uniform, and his opponent from USA, Basryev Rustam in red. A fighter from Uruguay, his opponent in blue uniform, representing United States of America.
Martinez, Fredy, Guevara, República Dominicana. Oliver, República Dominicana.
Well, here we go. Nice first attempt. The American is trying to use his power, but his opponent seems to be very relaxed and meanwhile very good with his defense. Here, both of them moving around. Now Davila trying to attack a single leg. Doesn't work. Well, looking for the grips, both of them. Nice positioning. Davila controls the outside sleeve. It was a nice attempt for Basryev, but it didn't work the way he wanted to.
Rustam, USA.
But the point it scored, and the American moves forward in our competition. Not so many people on the beach today, but for sure they are in for a treat. Those who came to watch our competition. Again, a very quick victory for Oliver Guevara from the Dominican Republic against Fredy Martinez from Honduras. This is why beach sambo.
Ganador, Basryev, Rustam, USA. A la arena, categoría 62 kilogramos. Martinez, Fredy, Honduras. Guevara, Oliver, República Dominicana. Prevenido, categoría más 90 kilogramos. Ganador, Guevara, Oliver, República Dominicana. A la arena, categoría más de 100.
Well, we prepare for our next fight. Women under 64 kilograms from Ecuador, Erika Cardoso, and her opponent from Chile, Catalina Enriquez.
Enriquez, Catalina, Chile.
We're waiting for the athletes to
Categoría
make their entrance.
femenino. Quiroga, Michelle, Colombia. Pañagua, Mari, República Dominicana.
So Cardoso wearing the red uniform. Her opponent Enriquez in blue.
Enriquez, Catalina. Primer llamado al atleta Enriquez, Catalina, de Chile.
Well, it seems we have only one fighter, and she is the winner,
Ganador,
Erika Cardoso, the quickest victory, probably the quickest victory in her career.
Quiroga, Michelle.
And we prepare now for our next fight. Also, women under 64 kilograms from Colombia, Michelle Quiroga, and her opponent from the Dominican Republic, Mari Panigua. And I think we already have the winner.
Ganadora,
Yes, Mari Panigua is is the winner and she moves forward. This is why this competition is so spectacular, because everything happens very, very fast. Another fight in women under 64 kilograms from Mexico, Jocelyn Ramirez and her opponent from Costa Rica, Briseno Estefani. In red, Ramirez, in blue, Briseno. They start very quickly. Both of them trying to use their strength, looking for an ankle pick. Here's the Mexican. Good defense for her opponent. Mexican using her power in order to move her opponent from left to right and right to left. Looking for the grips, both of them. The Mexican trying to control her opponent's head. For the outside, good defense for Briseno, who tries to move her over. And finally, is a point for Ramirez, who moves forward in our competition. Our next fight from Trinidad and Tobago, Gil Latesha, her opponent from the Dominican Republic, Ruth Montero. Dominican in blue uniform. This type of fight very quick, nothing happens in that position. But for sure, this is not going to be a very long fight. Well, again, a nice attempt, but an unsuccessful one. And again, nothing happens. And we have a visitor on the pitch. He wasn't so pleased with our competition, but he ran away very quickly. And we have the winner in blue uniform, Ruth Montero from the Dominican Republic. Next fight, Norma Jimenez from Costa Rica and her opponent from Peru, Heidi Cruz. And we have already the winner from Peru, Heidi Cruz. Well, these fights are very, very quick. It's going to be a little bit difficult to remember everyone that fought today, but for sure the commission knows exactly who won, and we will have very soon the development of our competition. Actually, there were a lot of fighters here in Santo Domingo. So this concludes women under 72 kilograms. I think we will move forward in our weight classes.
No se refiere, es un receso técnico de 2 minutos. Vamos para que Apolo, necesito una técnica, por favor, Apolo. Muy bien, señoras y señores. Después de esta fase, esperemos que estamos técnicas con mucha garra, mucho nervio. Vamos a continuar con la misma de momentito con la categoría de más de 30 kilos. Compartan la fiesta, mírense, bailen, bailen, vamos. Ese merengue arriba. Vamos, Dominicana. Música urbana.
Waiting for the second part of the competition to start. all the first fights ended. So we are waiting for next qualifying fights. It was a very quick, a very fast-paced competition today, and this is what is generally happening in beach sambo. So we are waiting for such an interesting thing, and in the next parts of our competition.
Damos inicio a nuestra segunda ronda de combate. Categoría más de 90 kilogramos. A la arena, Frías Vladimir, República Dominicana. Gilberto Jaime, Colombia. Prevenidos. Categoría más de 72 kilogramos femenino. México. Mirta Nieves, Cuba.
Well, here we go. Man plus 90 from the Dominican Republic. Vladimir Frias in red, his opponent from Colombia, Geraldo Jaime. Nice attack, and we have the winner,
Ganador. Frías,
Vladimir Frias.
República Dominicana.
Nice victory.
Son aplausos para los
And, our next fight, women plus 72 kilograms from Mexico, Nancy Hernandez, and from Cuba, Mitra Nieves. Everything is happening so quick.
Cuba.
Well, it seems that Hernandez has some problems with her knee, and her opponent is declared the winner. Mitra Nieves moves forward in the competition. And we move on to women under 56 kilograms from Mexico, Diana Mateos, and her opponent from Costa Rica, Reina Cordoba. We've seen them both yesterday. So here we go. The Mexican in red, the fighter from Costa Rica in blue uniform. Nice defense for the Mexican. Nice attempt. It didn't work, and Mateos wants to be the aggressor on the ground. It didn't work for her either. And again, nice attempt for Cordoba. They are looking for the technique very quickly without securing the grips, and probably this is why this fight doesn't look so clean. Well, again, nice grip this time for Cordoba, who secured her opponent's lapel, and now looking for the throw, and it works for her. Nice technique for Cordoba. It wasn't the quickest technique, but it worked well, and she moves forward in the competition.
Categoría hasta 24 kilogramos masculino. Cardoso, Gilberto, Reyes, Venezuela. Prevenido, categoría 54 kilogramos masculino. Cruzado Cristo, Perú, Silva,
Our next fight, man under 74 kilograms. In the red, the Colombian, and in red, the Mexican, Gilberto Cardoso, and in blue, the Venezuelan, Ferrer Gaiker. Ferrer fought very well yesterday. Right now, he wants to win second medal. Cardoso trying to stay very low, trying to make it very difficult for his opponent. Nice attempt of a throw. Let's see. No points scored. And we restart. Nice attempt, good defense for Ferrer. Looking for the inside whip is Ferrer. Both of them standing tall, trying to control the upper body of their opponent before attempting any technique. Looking for fireman's carry, but very good defense for Cardoso.
queda un minuto de combate. Atleta activo rojo.
Still no points scored so far. Both of them are trying to control the grips, waiting for the opponent to be a little bit more tired. Nothing happens. Again, Cardoso trying to attack. Nice defense for Ferrer. Both of them had very good defenses, but nobody succeeded to throw his opponent. last seconds of the fight, and it was a nice technique for the Mexican. So Gilberto Cardoso moves forward in competition. And our next competition, man under 74 kilograms from Peru. Christopher Cazador from Peru, and from Brazil, Valmir Silva. Only Valmir Silva made his entrance on the on the sand, and he moves forward in competition. We stay in the same weight class. Elvin Reyes from Nicaragua will fight against the Bolivian. Well, still waiting for the fighters. Maybe it's a different fight. So in red, fighter from Nicaragua and his opponent from Bolivia. Quick grips for both of them. They try to control the sleeve and the lapel. Let's see, nice attempt, good defense for the Nicaraguan. And the winner is Luis Medrano, who moves forward in competition. Our next fight, Daniel Cruz from Costa Rica against Jose Urizar from Guatemala. So the fighters are ready. In the red uniform, Diaz. In blue uniform, Urizar. Nice technique for Diaz. A very clean throw, and he moves forward. Very determined and very technical. This is how you approach a fight on the sand. And now Matias Munoz from Colombia will take on the fighter from Uruguay. In red from Chile, Rene Avendano, and his opponent from Canada, Aziz Muhammad, in blue uniform. So here we go. This time both of them are looking for their grips. Nice technique from Avendano. The Canadian was very aggressive, but he wasn't careful enough. Avendano felt that and attacked him very quickly and very decisive.
A la arena, categoría 74 kilogramos. Muñoz Matías, Colombia. Costa Santiago, Uruguay. Prevenido, categoría 74 kilogramos. Colombia Carlos, El Salvador.
Our next fight, Matias Munoz from Colombia against Santiago Acosta from Uruguay. Very aggressive is Acosta. And we have the winner, Santiago Acosta.
A la arena, categoría 74 kilogramos. Colombia Carlos, El Salvador. Ibrahim House, Jamaica.
Our next fight,
Prevenido, categoría 74 kilogramos.
Carlos Urrutia against Imran Hall. Urrutia in red uniform from El Salvador, and from Jamaica, Imran Hall. Nice technique for Hall. And this is it. Very quick victory again. No? No, we restart. Yeah, trying to attack his opponent's legs.
USA, Villarreal, David, Argentina, prevenidos.
Both of them are looking for their grips. Hall trying to stand tall and trying to be the stronger fighter. Yes, it works so well, and we restart the fight with Urrutia securing a lapel grip. One of the longest fights that we had so far. Very evenly matched, both of them. And, this time it's a wrap. Imran Hall is the winner with a very nice takedown. Now next fight, also a man under 74 kilograms from the United States of America, Derek Darling, and his opponent from Argentina, David Villarreal. and red the American, and blue the Argentinian. And here we go. A single leg attempt for the Argentinian, and let's see. I don't think it's going to be anything. The Argentinian was looking for a single leg, then he moved into a double leg. The American with a nice throw, and this is it. Derek Darling moves forward.
Ganador, Darby Derrick, USA. Música, por favor. DJ. ¿Cómo están esos ánimos de Boca Chica? No vale, están dormidos, están dormidos. No la escucho, no la escucho. ¡Una bulla! No parece latino, va. ¡Una bulla! Que vean la gente de México animada, vale, más nadie, solo México.
Are waiting for the competition to restart. While you can watch these beautiful images at the beach in Santo Domingo.
Vamos a ver qué ánimo está, qué lado está más animado. ¿El izquierdo o el derecho? Vamos a ver qué gana, qué tiene el mejor ánimo. ¡El lado izquierdo! Los jueces tienen más ánimo que los atletas. ¿Cómo es eso? No entiendo, no entiendo. ¡Los árbitros! ¿Qué es eso? Los árbitros tienen más ánimo. ¡Los atletas! ¡Los árbitros! Amonestación para aquel equipo. Están pasivos, están pasivos, están pasivos. Uruguay tiene más ánimo. En serio. Mira, hasta para la pista se mete, pues. No hay nada. Cassio, Brasil. Barreto Ernesto, Colombia. Prevenido, categoría 90 kilogramos. Martinez Jesús, México. Crespo Jesús, Cuba. Prevenidos.
Well, and here we go again. Man under 90 kilograms in red uniform, Cassio Lisboa from Brazil, and his opponent from Colombia, Ernesto Barreto. Brazilian defending very well, staying on the edge of fighting area. Barreto is trying to overpower his opponent, tries to block his opponent for body, but it doesn't work exactly the way he wants, and with a very nice technique, Lisboa wins this one. He waited for his opponent to make a mistake, and then he tackled him on the sand. Great victory for the Brazilian, and we prepare for our next fight from Mexico. Jesus Martinez in red, his opponent from Cuba, Jesus Crespo. Good techniques for both of them, trying to attack and to control their opponent's body, but it's very difficult on the sand. Even though it looks like fun, uh, like a vacation, it's not at all. It's very difficult because it's very hot and the sand is not the firmest surface that you can fight on. Nice attempt for Martinez. He has the leg. It didn't work for him, and this is exactly what I was telling you about. Nice counter for Crespo, though. I don't think. Oh, it's allowed. It's allowed. The referee didn't stop. Didn't stop. So the point is allowed for Jesus Crespo. I really think it was a little bit of a problem with this decision, but this is it. We have to obey the referee's decision. Our next fight, man under 90 from Ecuador, Juan Blanco. We saw him yesterday fighting very well, and his opponent from the Dominican Republic, Jose Jimenez. Good grips, and these are very strong fighters, and we can clearly see this. It's very difficult for them to move each other around, and also they seem to be a little bit more careful than the fighter that we saw in the lower weight classes. The heavier that you are, the more difficult it is to move on the sand, and also it's more difficult for your opponent to move you around. Actually, the sand is very good for defense because you don't slip as much as you do on a mat, and of course the grip on the sand is very good. They are not wearing right now the boots, but they are wearing ankle braces, and this is very good because you have the cloth and also the skin in contact with the sand, and this controls this makes a very good grip. But meanwhile, Juan Blanco succeeded to throw his opponent with a very beautiful technique. And here we have our winner, man under 90 kilograms, Juan Blanco, the most forward in competition. And our next fight in man under 90 kilograms from United States of America, Alfred Brown in red uniform, and his opponent from Panama, Jean Cordoba. The American gets his grip very quickly. Nice attempt. It didn't work though, and they're still holding the same grips. One lapel grip and one sleeve grip. And again, the American is looking for that particular lapel grip on the same side with his hand. Cordoba looking for a grip of his own, but it's a bit too late. The American controlled the fight from the get-go with a beautiful lapel grip, and then with a nice step and a throw. And we move in the weight class, 62 kilograms man from Peru, Jacques Guzman, and his opponent from Mexico, Alejandro Arroyo. In red, the fighter from Peru, the Mexican in blue. Well, this was a very quick attack. And we have the winner from Peru. Our next fight, Liam Macfadyen against Karen Brown. Karen Bourne, the Canadian in red, the fighter from Trinidad in blue. Nice attack for Bourne. Well, and this looks so easy for Macfadyen. But let's not forget that his opponent is a very good fighter. We saw him yesterday, and we saw him also today fighting very well.
Basryev,
But
Rustam,
Macfadyen seems to be
USA,
one of the best fighters in
Venezuela.
this competition. Well, our next fight, man under 62 kilograms from USA in red uniform, Rustam Basryev, and his opponent in blue for from Venezuela,
132
Lucas
kilogramos.
Borregales.
Guevara, Jorge, hasta
Also,
Centroamericana. Rivero, Argentina.
Borregales fought yesterday also, and he fought very well. Again, both of them with the same grip. Nice attempt for the American, but it didn't work. Borregales knew how to stand tall and how to avoid his opponent's attack. A nice another attack from Rustam Basryev, and again it didn't work the way he wanted to. Basryev trying to get a strong lapel grip. Look how different is their body position from the standard sambo on the mat. On the mat, they try to stay closer to their opponents, but right here they try to stay as far as they can. And the reason is obvious. It's easier to defend yourself when you are a little bit further from your opponent, but it also makes it a little bit difficult for you to attack. Still on the ground, good defense.
Quedan 40 minutos de combate.
And we have the winner.
Ganador, Borregales Lucas, Venezuela.
Lucas Borregales moves forward.
A la arena, Guevara, Oliver, República Dominicana. Rivero, Argentina. Prevenidas, categoría 64 kilogramos. Cardoso, Erika, Ecuador. Paniagua, Mary,
Our
República
next fight, man under 62 kilograms from the Dominican Republic, Oliver Guevara, and his opponent from Argentina, Pavel Ribin, the Argentinian in blue, his opponent in red. Here we go. Nice attempt for Guevara, but it didn't work. And again, the same thing, and the point is allowed. Very simple attack, but it worked very well. It was a simple tackle. Now we move on. Women under 64 kilograms. In red from Ecuador, Erika Cardoso, and her opponent from the Dominican Republic, Mary Panigua. No, nothing, no point will be scored from the position. Again, nice attempt, but and we restart. Panigua tried to sweep her opponent. Let me tell you, it's so difficult to fight on the sand. And this one, it works very good for Panigua. And I think the fighters really started to understand what they have to do. They have to use a little bit more their body weight. It's not enough to be tricky, to sweep your opponent, and to move him from left to right and right to left. It's very important to use your upper body strength. You have to pull your arms a little bit more, and also you have to lean on your opponent a little bit more. It's a little bit dangerous, but this is the way to win. Jocelyn Ramirez from Mexico in red, and her opponent from Bolivia, Yani Galarza. We have the winner, Jocelyn Ramirez from Mexico. And we move up into the next weight class. Women under 72 kilograms. From Dominican Republic, Ruth Montero, and her opponent from Brazil, Carla Figueiredo. In the red uniform, the Dominican, in blue, the Brazilian. And here we go. Nice technique. Nice technique. It worked perfectly. Ruth Montero moves forward. Our next fight, women under 72 kilograms from Peru, Heidi Cruz, and her opponent from Colombia, Lady Monsalve. The Colombian in blue, her opponent in red uniform. Here they start, both of them looking for their position.
Ganadora, Cruz Heidi, Perú. DJ, suéltame la música. En breves segundos vamos a dar inicio a un pequeño concurso. Así que no se vayan. DJ, ponme una musiquita ahí. A ver quién tiene ganas de llevarse un premio cortesía de Fías. El que quiera, se viene aquí conmigo al medio de la arena. Quien quiera, un pequeño presente de parte de la Federación Internacional de Sambo. Todo el que quiera, el que quiera. Referí, no sé. Atletas, entrenadores, el público en general. El primero. ¿Quién más quiere? ¿Quién más quiere? Necesito unos voluntarios. Ok, está bien. ¿Quién más? Pero no solo atletas, la gente del público. ¿Usted lo conoce Vibra, sí? ¿No se vi? ¿Desde quién te Vibra, sí? ¿Quién? No te va a decir nada, para ver si inicia. ¿Quién? No te lo Ok, ok. Vamos a hacer un concurso de baile. Claro, ya va, ya va. Vamos a demostrar quién es el que sabe bailar aquí. Sí. A bailar. DJ, ponme una musiquita buena. Movida. Algo bien movido, movido, movido. Último chance de entrar a la arena, a la pista de baile. Último chance. El que quiera llevarse un premio por parte del FIA. Go today. Yeah. Let's go. Who wants to win? Okay, let's go, Matthew. Let's go. Okay. DJ, séntame algo movido. Séntame algo bien. Dale, empezamos. Sí, no te vuelvas. No, me confundí. Bueno, sube el volumen. Ok. ¡Ojo! Aplauso, vale, aplauso. Le voy a entregar un presente a cada uno por participar. Lapicero de la federación por participar. Déjame ver. Un aplauso. Vamos a dar inicio a las finales.
Esa es la que tienen que poner ahorita.
Semifinal, categoría más de 90 kilogramos. República Dominicana. Rikelski Martinez. Prevenido. Categoría más de 90 kilogramos. Isaac Joshua, USA. García David, México. Prevenido.
Well, our next fight from the Dominican Republic, Vladimir Frias, and his opponent from Canada, Martin Rigelski. So in red the Dominican, in blue the Canadian, and we get ready for this first fight, men plus 90 kilograms. Rigelski trying to defend very well, and he succeeds to throw his opponent easily. He waited for his opponent to unbalance himself, and then he succeeded to throw him with his. Actually, Frias did more than half of the work.
categoría más 90 kilogramos. Isa
Well, and we prepare now for our next fight from the USA in red uniform, Joshua Giza, and his opponent from Mexico, David Garfias. Oh, it didn't work. Way too big is the American, but it was a next try, nice try nonetheless. The American looking to sweep, and no, yes, the point is allowed. I thought the Mexican succeeded to turn his body in midair and to land on his belly, and he did actually. The referee at first gave the point to the American, but then he he let the fight continue. Outside sweep for the Mexican, and the American tries to overpower his opponent, and I think this is going to be the point. No, not this time. Again, the Mexican with an attempt, and nice counter for the American. Still no point scored. Good grip for the American. Mexican is moving around, and this time we have the point, and we have the victor. Mexican wins this one, and it was not really an easy fight for him. Let's prepare for our next fight. Our next fight from the red uniform from Costa Rica, Reina Cordoba, and her opponent from the Dominican Republic, Julia Quintero. Nice attack for Cordoba, and she wins. A very quick victory for fighter from Costa Rica. And here we go, our next fight in women under 56 kilograms from Jamaica, Lisa Fraser, and her opponent from Venezuela, Luisania Campos. In red, the Jamaican, in blue, the Venezuelan. Very quick attack. Luisania Campos wins this one with ease. While we're waiting for our next fighters. And here they are. Men under 90 kilograms from Brazil, Cassio Lisboa, and his opponent from Cuba, Jesus Crespo. In red the Brazilian, in blue the Cuban. Both of them staying very low in the beginning, looking for the grips. I think this one is going to be a little bit more difficult for the Brazilian, or not. No, yes, it is scored. Yes, I think that I was right. The Cuban succeeded to win this one with a lot of ease. And we move forward, and under 90 kilograms. Waiting for the fight to begin. The fighters seem to be ready. Well, and here we go. In red uniform from Dominican Republic, Jose Jimenez, and his opponent in blue from the United States, Alfred Brown. Both of them with good sleeve grips, trying to reposition themselves. The American is looking for an inside finger leg. Well, it doesn't work this time, but it wasn't a bad idea. Both of them fighting for the grips. Both of them staying heavy, staying tall, trying to be very difficult to be unbalanced. The American is looking for another technique. So far, no points scored. Here we start. Still looking for the grips, still trying to reimpose the physical power. American seems to be a little bit more dominant right now, looking for his techniques, trying to move his opponent around a little bit. Nice attempt for the Dominican, but it wasn't the right time, and he miscalculated the distance a little bit. They restart with good grips. Looking for an outside trip is the American. Still very good defense. Last seconds of the fight. And that's the decision. Yes, the winner is Alfred Brown. He was more active, and he tried a lot of things. It didn't work for him, but in the end, the victory is his. So this is what matters most. Man under 74 kilograms. This is our next fight. From Mexico, Alberto Cardoso, and his opponent from Brazil, Valmir Silva. Silva in blue, Cardoso in red. Nice technique for Cardoso. And he moves forward. His weight class, man under 74 kilograms. And our next fight, the same weight class, Luis Medrano from the Dominican Republic against Daniel Diaz from Costa Rica. Both of them with sleeve grips. Medrano trying to get the dominant grips, and now Diaz is trying to attack his leg. Well, the same thing as in the previous fight. They are very careful with their attacks. They are thinking firstly at defense, and then at a way to attack the opponent. And again, men under 74 kilograms, this time from Uruguay in blue uniform, Santiago Acosta, and his opponent from Chile, Rene Avendano. Nice attack for the Chilean, but I really like the way his opponent succeeded to avoid his opponent's attack. And they restart. Nice attempt, but no point scored. Here they restart very quickly. Good grips for both of them. Here do we have a decision? No. Still the same thing. Still both of them trying to impose their physical strength. "45 seconds to go. And we do have a problem with the belt. And here we go again. Not as technical as the fight we expected, but again, there can be no point. Another nice attempt for the Chilean, but let's see what the referee decides. Yes, the victory goes to Santiago Acosta from Uruguay. Again, man under 74 kilograms, Imran Hall from Jamaica against Derek Darling from the USA. The Jamaican in red uniform, nice technique. And the Jamaican attacking the leg, and this time it should be no. Interesting enough, no point scored again. Cameron Hall still attacking with all his powers. He doesn't succeed to score a point, and this will be very difficult for him because he uses a lot of energy while his opponent is still relatively fresh. Right now, it's the first time the American succeeds to get a decent grip, a lapel grip and an outside grip, trying to reach his opponent's belt. The American tries to fight a little bit sideways. It's a very good position for a lot of throws. Let's see. It was an interesting attempt, and again, Hall does something interesting. And the point is allowed to the American. Interesting decision. So our next fight, man under 62 kilograms from Peru in red uniform, Jack Guzman, and his opponent in blue from Canada, Liam Macfadyen. It was a nice technique for Guzman, but it didn't work. And yet again, trying to set his opponent up. I really think Macfadyen is a little bit too experienced and too technical to be tricked by this time of approach. Macfadyen looking for his first throw. It didn't work. Trying to sweep is Macfadyen. Doesn't work, and then he tries to continue. Well, it's a decision for Jack Guzman. These were two, let's call them interesting decisions. And we prepare for our next fight with, hope we have a different referee. From the Dominican Republic, Oliver Guevara and his opponent in red from Venezuela, Lucas Borregales. Both of them in the same position. Nobody risks anything. And we restart. Good grips for both of them. No points scored. It was an interesting attempt though. Still looking for the grips. Both of them very careful with their attacks and their defense. Guevara tries to be a little bit more aggressive than his opponent right now. It doesn't work for him, but anyway, there are only 5 seconds left, and maybe this will be more important than a possible technique right now. This is the end, and the winner is Lucas Borregales. Guevara knew the fight was going to end, and this is why he tried to attack a little bit more. But it was a little bit too late, and of course not enough. Have a very short break, and then we will return with another part of our competition. Slowly but surely, we are approaching the finals.
semifinal, categoría 74 kilogramos masculino. Cardoso Gilberto, México. Medrano Luis, República Dominicana, semifinal, categoría 74 kilogramos. Prevenido. Acosta Santiago, Uruguay. Fredy, USA. Please be ready. José, a sus posiciones, por favor. Vamos a hacer
Well, we prepare for our first semi-final in men under 74 kilograms. From Mexico, Gilberto Cardoso against Medrano from the Dominican Republic. In red, Cardoso. In blue, Medrano. So this is our first semi-final. The fighters seem to be ready. Well, and here we go. Good grip for Cardoso. Tries to get his opponent's lapel very quickly. No, it didn't work. And the referee calls them back in the center of our fighting surface. Both of them trying to unbalance each other, trying to use the outside sweep, same technique, but it didn't work. Now they restart. Nice attempt for Medrano. Well, nothing happens from that particular position, and they restart very quickly, looking for the grips. Most of them trying to get a dominant position and to forbid the opponent to attack. Still nothing happens, and still they are looking for the same technique, the same thing, looking for the favorite grips, for the favorite setup. Last minute of the fight. And so far no one really succeeded to do anything spectacular. Again, nice attack for Cardoso, and he moves forward. The referee decides this is a point, and Gilberto Cardoso moves forward.
Categoría 74 kilogramos semifinal. Acosta Santiago, Uruguay.
And our next fight, again men under 74 kilograms, fight between Uruguay and the United States. Darling in blue uniform and Acosta in red uniform. And this is a point for Darling, who qualifies to the final.
Final, categoría 56 kilogramos femenino. Córdoba Reina, Costa Rica, Luisana Campos, Venezuela. Final, categoría 56 kilogramos femenino.
And here we go to our first final of the evening, women under 56 kilograms. The fighters seem to be prepared for this. Nice technique, but no point scored. Lisania Campos from Venezuela against Reina Cordoba from Costa Rica. Cordoba in red uniform. Another attempt for Cordoba, no point scored. Well, it was a point scored. And we know who the first gold medal medalist is. And this is the final in men under 62 kilograms. From Peru, Jack Guzman, and his opponent from Venezuela, Lucas Borregales. We have a different referee. And let's see when the fighters are ready. But for sure, this is not men under 62 kilograms. Well, the ladies were a little bit in a hurry. We are still waiting for the men to make their entrance. And I think Jack Guzman was not ready. We saw him in the background preparing his uniform. So Jack Guzman from Peru in red uniform, and Lucas Borregales from Venezuela in blue uniform. Well, right now they seem to be ready. And here we go. Borregales fought very well these days. He is now minutes away from another great victory for him, for his country. And Venezuela had a very strong team. Very strong team in combat, a very strong team in sports sambo, and right now on the beach. Nothing happened so far. This one trying to fight very low. He needs a position for where he can attack his opponent's legs. Right now he tries to control his opponent's upper body, and it worked pretty well for him so far. Borgales on the outside, not very rigid as Borgales. Tries to slow around his opponent. He tries to make his opponent unbalance himself, and then he tries to use his techniques. Like in this very moment, but it didn't work for him. Well, and yet again, good grip on the lapel for Jack Guzman. Borgales still defending that arm, the right arm of Guzman. Nice attempt, it doesn't work, and right now Guzman tries to attack once again. Less than 1 minute, and both of them seem a little bit more aggressive right now, especially Guzman, who tries to attack as soon as he gets a grip. Guzman again looking for control. And this is it, and we have our winner. Let's see what is the referee's decision. Lucas Borregales. It was a nice fight and a nice final, probably with the best fighters in this weight class. So another final in women's competition, Mary Panigua against Jocelyn Ramirez in red, fighter from the Dominican Republic, and her opponent, the Mexican in blue uniform. This is women under 64 kilograms. Nice throw for Panigua, who wins this final with ease. It was a nice technique. She waited for her opponent to be a little bit unbalanced, and then she succeeded to throw her. This is why I really like beach sambo, because there are a lot of interesting things, and you have very little room for error. Our next fight, already announced, man under 90 kilograms from Cuba, Jesus Crespo, and his opponent from the United States, Alfred Brown, the American in blue uniform, the Cuban in a red. Again, two fighters that worked tremendously well today. Jesus Crespo trying to be the stronger man from the get-go, trying to secure the position, trying to control the grips. And we have the winner from the United States of America, Alfred Brown. Well, another medal for the United States. And our next fight, the final, women under 72 kilograms from the Dominican Republic, Ruth Montero, and her opponent from Peru, Cruz Heidi. So another Dominican in the final. This time women under 72 kilograms. Well, let's wait for the fighters to enter the fighting area. They seem to be ready. And here we go, in the red Dominican, in blue, girl from Peru. Another attack for the Peruvian. Tries to attack the legs very quickly. Her opponent is looking for a perfect moment, and it seems that it worked for her. Very nice technique for Montero, and we have another winner tonight. Another winner from the Dominican Republic. And our next final, man under 74 kilograms, in red, the Mexican, Gilberto Cardoso, and his opponent, the American, Derek Darling. A very quick final. Cardoso wins with his very first technique. Well, shorter than time that it takes to say their names. Well, our next final in the women's division, plus 72 kilograms, in red, representing Cuba, Mirta Nieves, and her opponent from the Dominican Republic, Audrey Puello, in blue uniform. Well, trying to attack very quickly. Well, with stop points scored with less than this, but not this time. I think it depends very much on the referee. The referee here is almost almighty. He can decide exactly what is happening, and of course it's very important to be very careful. Your decision, you can only make one mistake, but so far Nobody scored. The fight restarts quickly. Nieves tried to throw her opponent. It didn't work. Again, good grip. It's very difficult in these weight classes. It's a different type of power for these women. They have to move a lot of weight, and they are very strong. And this is one of the most spectacular weight classes because everything moves in a different rhythm. Everything is different. This weight class. So here we go. Again. Nobody succeeded to secure the grips so far. Both of them looking, trying to throw with a single grip. It's a little bit more tricky to throw with a single grip, but it's a little bit faster. Probably this is why they try to attack like this. Of course, the double grip is the best option, but sometimes it's a little bit more difficult, especially when you have to move a very heavy opponent, even though you are also a heavy man or a heavy woman, but it's difficult. Again, both of them looking for the grips, both of them using good defense. Last attempt didn't work. It was a good snap with a lot of power, but of course not enough. 10 seconds to go. I think we're going to have a decision. Again, another attempt for Nieves, but just not enough. Last seconds of the fight, and I think Nieves is the winner. Let's wait for the decision. Yes, Nieves is the winner. In the very last second of the fight, succeeded to throw her opponent. It was a good fight, an interesting fight. I really love these big weight classes. And while we prepare for our next final, that is very quickly. It's supposed to be man plus 100. Last 90, excuse me. From Canada, Martin Rigelski, and his opponent from Mexico, David Garfias. And we have the winner, a very quick and very powerful Martin Rigelski. I think this young man is the fastest victor in this competition. Well, we had a very interesting competition today on the beautiful beaches of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. Always beach sambo is very interesting, and we have a lot of interesting competitions here in the Dominican Republic, and for sure in the future we're going to see together a lot more of this beautiful, interesting, quick, and sometimes maybe a little bit unfair competition because you have very small room for error. It's almost impossible to win back an error, and this is why the beach sambo, it's such a beautiful sport. You have to be concentrated 100% the full time. It's no room for error, and it's a beautiful competition. I really enjoyed the tournament here in Santo Domingo, and I hope you enjoyed it too. We had a lot of beautiful techniques. We had a lot of colorful and interesting characters here, and we saw a lot of people from all over the northern and the southern Americas fighting together under one rule, under one umbrella. This is the beautiful umbrella of Sambo. A lot of interesting things, a lot of beautiful competition, and a lot of fighters that succeeded to live their dream. I would like to congratulate each and every one of them for their efforts here in the Dominican Republic.
Después de las premiaciones, vamos a tener un pequeño descanso y comenzamos con las competencias de todo el equipo. No se retiren. Queremos darle la bienvenida a un invitado muy especial, Marcos Díaz, vicepresidente de Deportes. Los atletas, por favor, a la premiación. Por favor, los atletas a la premiación. Estar con el uniforme de rojo. Se les espera en el lado izquierdo de la tarima. Por favor, todos los atletas al área de premiación. Todos los atletas premiados al área de premiación. Categoría 56 kilogramos femenino. Victoria Julia, Dominicana. Reyes, Jamaica. Vicenta Campos, Venezuela. Córdoba Reina, Costa Rica. Por favor, presentarse a la de premiación.
Este es el área de premiación. Lléguense al área de premiación. Por favor, por favor. John, subir el dinero para que lo vea él, para que se dé cuenta de lo que perdió. Vamos a comenzar la premiación de la categoría 56 kilogramos femenino. Hace entrega el viceministro de Deportes de la República Dominicana, Marcos Díaz. Eliseo Romero, presidente de la Federación Dominicana de Sambo. Y Mijail Kuczynski, vicepresidente de la Federación de Sambo de los Estados Unidos. Tercer lugar, Quiterio Burga, República Dominicana. Tercer lugar, Quiterio Julia, de la República Dominicana. Tercer lugar, Fraser Lisa, de Jamaica. Segundo lugar, Campos Isana, Venezuela. Y campeona de la categoría 56 kilogramos femenino, Córdoba Reina, de Costa Rica. Por favor, nos colocamos de pie para escuchar las notas del himno nacional. Felicitaciones a todos. Premiación, categoría 62 kilogramos masculino. Tercer lugar, Guevara Oliver, República Dominicana. Tercer lugar, Macfadyen Liam, Canadá. Segundo lugar, Guzman Jack, Perú. Y campeón de la categoría 62 kilogramos, Borregales Lucas, Venezuela. Tercer lugar, Guevara Oliver, de Dominicana.